got it. So there's 12 different manufacturers, and you're going to get a $400 fee reduction off the fees, an additional 5% LTV on the front end or back end advance. So on this particular deal with the Honda CR-V at $20,000, the additional 5% is going to be an extra $1,000. So if you put it to perspective for them, that's where I usually find the success in hooking them.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Let's give them a round of applause. Great point, Danny. Any tweaks any of you would make to that? Go for it, Alex.
I think one thing that you can do on that also is just like, hey, let's pull up the Anderson deal that you just clicked over, for example. You're looking at an $800 fee on this, but if we click it over to a Honda, that's going to drop you down to a $400, plus I can offer you an additional $1,000 amount finance fund. So a specific example, maybe an actual deal.
And what's interesting to me here is that we're starting to get really specific about like thinking how to get much better, right? I mean, each of us in here we have strengths and we have opportunities to improve. And we talked about that all the way back on day one, right? We talked about some of the strengths and some of the opportunities. Like one of the things that Alex and I are both working on is speaking more slowly when we're on the phone, right? We're both working on that personally because it's super important for the other person to hear us and understand us, right? One of the things that Danny gave us a moment ago is to be crystal clear. Like for him, using an example that they can really relate to will be very helpful. So we want to be thinking about what are the one or two things we can do right away to start getting better at this. For some of us, it's just about making more calls. For others, it's about changing something in our attitude or our activity. And so between now and tomorrow morning, we're going to think about that. That's our first assignment, is to think about what are the one or two things you should be doing differently to really make some progress. Make sense? It really could be as simple as slowing down or being more friendly. Or it might be as complicated as I need to track the number of calls I make during a day so I'm consistent, right? You need to think about what's your one or two things. Sound good? That'll be our first assignment. Okay. Now, also as part of this exercise, we asked you to write down some of the objections that come up. So on page 413 is a list of most common objections. We're going to learn a system, it's a powerful system, for handling these objections. But what we have to have first is a list of objections. So on your index card, please take one index card, write down your name and the objection you hear most often. Go ahead and do that now if you could. Vegas, same deal. If you guys could write down on an index card, it doesn't have to be an index card for you, maybe on that flip chart in the back for Vegas, if you guys could write down the most common objections you get in the customer's words on that flip chart in the back. You guys able to hear me? Okay, thanks, Gavin. And if you could please write like a couple of keywords large enough that I can see them on the camera, or move the flip chart close enough, that would help. Thanks, guys.